Hello and welcome. My name is Lexi Jong, and here I like to talk about luxury beauty. Today we're going to be talking about the new palette from Surratt. This is exclusive to Beautylish. It's a collaboration, I guess, with Beautylish, but I already had the shades individually, so I just have them stuck to a magnet right here. By the way, Surratt pans themselves are not magnetic, so I use little stickers here. So when you purchase the Beautylish palette, it is $150 and it comes with a case, which you can buy the cases. I have one of the cases, but all of these products, they come with a little sticker backing, which you can see I had these in one of those cases before. This white part is the adhesive there. So then they just stick in and you can pull them out and move them and things like that. But you know, I liked having the versatility of more movement, so I use the magnetic stickers. Anyway, this palette here from Beautylish, this is the way it's arranged. So we have 4 eyeshadows and 1 blush shade. And I have to say, some of these shades are some of my favorite shades from Surratt. So let's start off with the blush here. This blush is called Ponceau, and it's definitely in my top 3 blushes from Surratt. I absolutely love it. You can see how pigmented it is. You can also see how you can like sheer it out as well. So it's very versatile for a lot of people because it's such a buildable, blendable blush. It is, you know, the slurry formula. It's like a creamy, powdery feeling. It doesn't feel like cream, but it's just such a finely milled powder that it almost feels creamy. And it goes on just absolutely beautifully. So Ponceau is the blush, and then the 4 eyeshadows, I have to say, these 2 here at the top are 2 of my favorites. So we have Griege, which is kind of this softer brown, almost a taupey brown, and Brun Noir. So here's Griege, or Griege, and then Brun Noir. So you can see that this is, it's almost like a warm taupe. And then we have Brun Noir, which is a deep coffee brown, like an espresso kind of brown. And then this shade here, Cosmos, this is one of the hologram shadows, which is a different formula. My experience with the hologram shadows, I really like them, but they don't swatch well. So it's gonna be really hard to get a swatch here. But this one here is pink. And I'm gonna put that on a base so you can see it better in a minute. And then this last shade is Satin Saumon. So here's that. And you can see that it's a little bit of a gold champagne. So it's a warm champagne kind of shade. It is gonna be a satin finish, whereas Griege and Brun Noir are both matte. Cosmos, again, is completely different just because of the formula there. It feels creamy. My particular Cosmos, it doesn't perform the same as my other holograms, so I don't know if my Cosmos is the issue or if they're all like that. So let me know if you have Cosmos and you've had issues with that, because I really love the holograms. So this is Brun Noir. And let's put more of this on top. So you can see the pink that you get on top of a deeper base. On top of a softer base, you really just get something more like that, where you get a little bit of a soft pink reflection. So obviously I've had these shades for a while. I've used all of them. So I already have my thoughts. Let's go ahead and discuss them. And then I do have a look, the look I'm wearing, to show you using this palette. Now I have to say, I think this palette is a gorgeous collection. Again, I don't know if the Cosmos is an issue for other people, but it's my least favorite hologram. That being said, I still think the palette is absolutely gorgeous and worth it. Because I really like the look that I created today. I really, I think these are just like really great neutral shades. The Cosmos is a great shade to kind of, pop in a little bit. Plus, even if you just want to use it on its own, it works well in the inner corner and so forth. Ponceau, as I mentioned, is one of my favorite blushes. Now, price point wise with Surratt palettes, you typically don't really get a discount per se buying the palette. Oftentimes what you'll get is essentially maybe like the free case with the palette pricing. Otherwise, you're essentially buying these shades individually and adding them up. So I have to look because I can't remember exactly how much the hologram shadows cost or the case, but you're not getting like any spectacular discount buying this as a palette. So if you like the actual palette itself, the color story and so forth, I do recommend it. I think this is a great collection, and I think it's a really nice introduction to different formulas from Surratt. It would make a great gift for people as well. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I would just really like it. But if you already have one or two of these shades, or perhaps you're not interested in any, or, you know, all of these, then you might want to look at purchasing the shades you're interested in individually, because again, you're not really getting a discount by purchasing it as a set palette. You can buy all of the pieces, including the case, separately if you so choose. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts on this particular palette. I really like it, and I hope this has been helpful. So let's go ahead to the demo, and I will see you in a few minutes. All right, so I have on the Chanel Ultra Le Temps foundation in BD01 with a soft dusting of the Sugu Smooth Matte Loose Powder, which is a soft pink. And then we're going to move into the blush Ponceau. So I'm using the Kyoto, this is the Lunar New Year, Year of the Tiger brush. This is just tapping it on the pan 2 times. I'm just going to dab that on my cloth and just make sure there's nothing, you know, no excess coming off here. And let's dust this on the cheek. So here's Ponceau. So Ponceau is actually one of my favorite Surratt blushes, and it's actually a very buildable shade. You know, you can go on very softly like I did, but you can build this up. So it works well for a lot of people just because it is such a buildable formula, and the color itself can be fairly pigmented. So this is going to be a soft wash of Ponceau. Let's move on to the eyes. I have the Viseart eye primer on, and we're going to start off with the shade Griege in the crease. Taking the Chikuhodo Z11, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this one in the crease. All right, so what we're going to do with the eyeshadows is I want to show you how the Cosmos works, because it is one of the hologram shades. So if you put it on its own, it's very, very light. You don't really see it. But if you put it on something on a deeper base, it's a lot more pigmented. If you put on a light base, it's going to be soft as well. So we're going to do the outer half of the eye in Brun Noir, the inner half with Satin or Salmon's, is it Satin Salmon? I forget. I think that's what it is, Satin Saumon. And yes, and then we'll put Cosmos right in the middle. So half of Cosmos is over the deeper base and half of it is over the lighter base. So let's start off with the lighter base. All right, so here's this. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Chikuhodo Z11 first to just kind of blend the crease a little bit better. And then we'll go in with the pink. So we're gonna use the Classique eyeshadow brush, the petite one, to go into Cosmos first. And then I'll show you what it looks like with fingers as well. So you can see as I'm touching this, this is really more like a cream type consistency. Even on the bristles, you can see how creamy that is. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of put this here in the center You can see how it is over the lighter base. And then if you want to amp up the pink, you want to put it over the deeper base. But it's still fairly soft. All right, let's go ahead with the finger. Now I have to say, I don't know if other people have had this issue with Cosmos. Maybe I need to get a new one, but my Cosmos has always been a little bit drier. It doesn't perform as well as the other ones. So like I really have to kind of press on mine to get pigment, and it's not as brightly pigmented as the other hologram shades. So I'm actually using a different finger every time here. And you can see tapping over the satin Saumon here that you really just, it's acting more like a pink topper with just like a little hint of pink, versus over here on the Brun Noir, it turns much more pink. So it's a little bit more evident on this eye, I feel like, than the eye with the brush. So when I'm going in with a powder shadow for eyeliner, I always kind of start here and work my way out so that I have more product on the outer portion versus the inner portion where I want it to look a little bit lighter and softer to open the eyes a little bit more. For underneath the eyes, I'm going to take Griege, the shade that we used in the crease. Same brush, I just wiped it off. And I'm just going to get a tiny dab of the Brun Noir just for the outer corner here a little bit. And for the inner corner, I'm going to go back in with the Petite Classic brush with the pink, the Cosmos, and just add that on its own right to the inner corner. It's just going to add a little bit of brightening there. All right, so this is it for the eyes and everything. I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, and I'll see you in a second. So this is the final look from a distance. I added the Surratt Noir lash tint to my lashes, the Gucci brow pencil in taupe. I added a little bit of the Chantecaille Holiday Highlighter Pearl Lumiere. And then on my lips, I have the Surratt Lip Sleek in Heaven, which is just a stunning shade. This is one of my favorites. I love the formula on these. There's not a lot of product in here, so they do go rather quickly. It's 1.6 grams in these. So I would definitely recommend trying them on sale because they're pricey per ounce, but they are just so comfortable on the lips, and they just have a great texture, great selection of colors. So that's it. All right, so just a few comparisons of the blush. This is the Sisley Coral. This is La Fita Rouge. So what's called? Yeah, La Fita Blush. Okay, so this is the Sisley in number 3, Coral. You can see it's a little bit less pink, but they do have a similar tone to them. We also have the Pat McGrath in Electric Bloom. And again, it's going to have some similarities there. That one's really pretty close. Electric Bloom is slightly more red, but not much. And then we have Fuchsia Rose from Chanel. And there we go. So you can see all 3 of those are pretty good comparisons to Ponceau. I personally love all 4 of them. I think the Chanel Fuchsia Rose is the closest, followed by the Pat McGrath and then the Sisley. For eyeshadows, I wanted to show you the Chanel Clair Obscure palette because it has some similarities to the shades minus Cosmos. So let's put those here. So you can see that although the shades aren't 100%, they do have a similar color story. This is a little bit more golden than the latest, more beige shade in the Chanel Quad. And then Griege is going to be kind of similar to the second shade in the Chanel Quad. This one's a little bit warmer and just a little bit more pigmented. There are a few more golden undertones in here. And then the Deep Espresso shade is a little bit cooler in the Surratt than the Chanel, but they are very, very close. This one's just going to be a little bit deeper, has a little bit more of that black brown bend to it. That's really going to be it for the eyeshadow comparisons, because again, these are pretty standard shades. I'm sure you have shades like that somewhere in your collection. The one standout is really going to be the Cosmos there, which again, I think it's a nice shade. And if the formula on there is more like my other hologram shadows, where it's a little bit easier to get up and put on, and it actually shows it more pigmented, then that's great. But this is definitely the softest in pigmentation out of all the holograms. So at least for the ones that I have all of the shades, but again, formula might be dependent on the particular batch or whatever. So that's going to be it. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know if you have any other comparison requests or anything like that. Let me know what you think of the palette. And I will leave everything linked down below, as well as a breakdown on the price for the palette versus purchasing things separately. So I'll see you very soon. Have a great day and stay safe and healthy.